sweet spot for these mics is usually like around this area.
Hey.
Should we adjust it for you?
I mean, can I put it up a little bit?
Yeah.
So I'm not...
Nicole, let me know.
Oh yeah, make sure that if we have to adjust to aim so we can not be like this the whole time. This is
Okay.
always like a problem.
Sweet. That's good for me.
Or even if we angle the mic at a different position, is fine.
Let me know if it works.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you guys have got that. I didn't think about that.
No, that's fine. That's perfect.
Yeah. Cool.
I can even move across a little bit if that helps.
You're good there.
Okay.
If that's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
Just sway in conversation.
I know. I'm like,
Stand up.
you know, I just really enjoy, you know.
All right. Cool.
It's all fluid.
Damn it, Elliot!
Super exciting.
Alright, here we go.
Question. Wait, I'm here.
Hello! Welcome to Actors Anonymous Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Keish. Co-hosting and talking in the beginning, as always, is Mr. Jordan Burbank.
I never knew that happened. I never knew you could hear us when that was playing.
You know,
I
it
thought
adds a
that was
little,
magic.
like a closer feel for us and the listeners, I think. So I think it's okay.
It's romantic.
Not
Like a love story.
love stories. Our show today is brought to you by Casted Talent. Casted is the exclusive partner to Casted Network of more than 10,000 of Hollywood's top casting directors, producers, directors, and studio execs. Hashtag right actor, right job. You should check out their open calls. They have one just about every month almost, and they're great to submit for. And it takes very little work, so there's no excuse. Our guest today...
Work to submit. We should just clarify that. It
What's-
takes little work to submit, but
Yes,
practice
little
is
work
hard.
to submit. Yes, of course, of course. I hope we don't have to say that. We have a very magical guest, should I say?
Oh,
It's gonna happen. They're gonna be magical puns through the whole podcast.
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Is Mr. Elliot Knight. Elliot is on the upcoming brand new season of Once Upon a Time. Some of his TV credits include How to Get Away with Murder and Sinbad, the UK TV series, which is a pretty exciting TV series.
I think so.
Yeah,
It was pretty exciting to do, so...
absolutely.
If it came across that way, then great. Bonus.
Absolutely.
Wow.
The YouTube videos of the making of the series are pretty... for any actor, they're like, oh, that's a dream
Oh,
job.
for what you get to do. I thought you meant me. Any of those behind-the-scenes things of me always make me cringe, so I...
Like watching yourself. I get it. Like
Yeah,
sometimes, but no, they were great.
It was a long time ago.
No, I'm talking about the actual experience of traveling,
Oh, it was amazing, yeah.
flight choreography, running, acting, all that stuff. I mean, come on.
All of those things are what I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. So to get that job...
Wow.
And so out of the blue as well, and then get to do that was probably the best year of my life. I had so much fun doing that.
Now, just to clarify for our listeners, Sinbad, it's the biography of the comedian, correct?
Yes, that's it. It's like we like to follow through all of his stage performances and all the fights that he had.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's a period piece, of course.
It's a violent.
Your PR rep is like, no, no. Our theme today is the love of stories. Why do people love stories so much? Reading, TV, film documentaries, nostalgic TV shows are a huge obsession for people, especially like Once Upon a Time. They're taking these classic stories that we've all grown up with. They've kept the essence of what they are, but put these amazing spins on them. And then they've added that, if you haven't watched the show, I'm not giving away too much, but the time, the breaking up of time sometimes, like they do a past episode, like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
different realms and things, and they're always trying to mix it up in different ways.
It's amazing, those writers and the showrunners and the producers, what they're doing with those characters.
I honestly,
Creators have lost, right?
yes, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, because even doing the show, I have no idea where I am. Even when it's written down, I'm like, so when did this happen? And who did what before this? And what's happening right now?
Right.
We've had that conversation so many times. But yeah, they're great. They really intricately plan everything that they want to do in terms of the characters, motivations, their stories, who they're going to be linked with, what worlds they're going to be in, where they came from, where they're going.
Right.
There is so much. So it's really fun if you can figure it out what you're doing.
Absolutely.
To be a part of it.
Now, this is from an actor, maybe somebody who's green to the business. How do you approach maybe a director or a producer and say, excuse me, I don't know when this is taking place? Do you just like go up to them and ask them, or do you like...
I think totally, because normally they're in the same position as you. If you can't figure it out. I had that with Adam, who was on set, one of the creators. He was on set last week, and this scene was happening, and I was like, Adam, like we've blocked this, and and I'm just stood here, and this is happening, and I just it feels a bit weird. And don't you think that with what happened before a couple episodes ago, that I would be doing something different? It would be like this. And he's like, yeah, I think you're right. That's not what we were. Okay, let's see what we can do, and we'll figure it out. And on that show, they're very collaborative, so they're very happy for you to come up and give your ideas and suggest different things.
Oh, that's amazing to hear.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, it makes it so much more fun, because everyone gets to bring their own sort of an essence of themselves to each character.
Absolutely.
Rebecca Mader, who plays Zelina, she makes me laugh so much, because she's so wild and like larger than life and funny and wonderful, and you really see how she brings that element of herself to the character Zelina. She's hilarious. It's so fun to be around. So yeah, it's good. Normally the producer and the directors, they're very happy to work things out with you and figure it out for themselves if they haven't already.
Well, I think that's
great. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I was gonna say that's such a great thing that everyone has such an opportunity to express themselves in their characters when you're dealing with every single character being such an iconic character in all of our lives. Like we know all these fairy tales and everything, so it's really great that they get to bring a little something extra. Yeah,
totally. I think it's important as well, because the whole essence of the show is that they're doing something different with all of these classic characters. They're not just telling the same Disney movie that we've seen or the same classic fairy tale. They're using that as given knowledge, and then they're creating a whole new world and building on that and saying, well, look, if we continue with the same themes of love and hope and adventure, let's see where we could take this, and trying to link it all together.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think it's so important too, if you're an actor and you come across a job like this or Lost or another type of TV show where they're only giving you limited information or only certain sides because they're being protective of the story. You gotta ask questions. You gotta be like, okay, what do I need to know? Let's break this down acting wise. And if it's not being told from the pages I've gotten, I need to go ask somebody.
Or if you're like me, you meet all the writers and you go, okay, so forget what I need to know. What happens? What's going to happen in 3 weeks? Tell me. And they're like, and I always get really annoyed because I'm a fan and I want to know what's going on.
That's actually a good tip for actors. You should be friends with everybody on set, just because it's all a team effort. But like the writers, they kind of have it planned out ahead, and I think that's incredible too, because just technically for writers in like a writing room, and you've had experience with this, they've got to plan episodes out for a certain time constraint and page constraint and the character arcs and where they're going to end at season 1. Is there going to be a season 2? Well, if there is going to be a season 2, do we have to change a little bit in season 1 and leave a cliffhanger?
It's funny, actually, and you've worked on How to Get Away with Murder. I don't know if it's the same for that show, but I remember an interview with Shonda Rhimes where she said that when she writes Scandal, they write that straight to the end with no idea where they're going to go. Like that when they come back, they're like, all right, how do we get out of this one? I'm like, that's one of the coolest ways to write. Because you really never know if your show, and I think Joss Whedon actually was doing the same thing with Buffy, because I'm a huge Buffy nerd, but would write it so that he knew season 1 he could tell a whole story. Season 2 he knew he was getting a pickup for season 3, so he told season 3 being the finale. Same thing for 5.
Right.
Like, when they knew when they were going to go to was when they actually realized that could be the final moment. That could be the big bang. So you have to make it go good. Like you have to go big go big or go home. Words do not come out.
You've gotten to work with some amazing jobs in the world. You start off the Sinbad series was your first series, correct? That's your first job. Your first job. That's incredible, by the way. Very lucky, very blessed.
I was so lucky. Yeah, I was very fortunate to get to do that.
Absolutely. The time difference between that and some of your other jobs, what would you say? Like, I'm breaking up your career now. I'm like in 3 points. So we got Sinbad, and then we have, and I've got a point to this. Sinbad, you had a few guest spots and some short films, correct, or films in general?
I did a series. I did a guest star. and a couple of pilots as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, that in-between time, between jobs, that's a very scary point for any actor. What do you do to fill up that time, and how do you stay positive? Have you stayed positive? Have you been negative? Have you been worried or anxious? What has been your experience with those in-between times?
Generally, I am quite a happy person. I'm delighted by the simplest things, which makes life very enjoyable.
Wow.
Because I don't have to. I try not to worry about things too much. It's just always been my philosophy that there is such a bigger scale to life if you are willing to engage with it, and it can really help you put things into perspective for what matters and what doesn't. So I always try and remember that if something is ever getting me down, or I feel frustrated with what's happening in life right now, or where I am, or wanting to be in a different place. So Sinbad was my first job, and we filmed that for about 9 months in Malta. And then with sort of trying to figure out if it was going to go for a season 2 with the show, which it didn't end up doing, but it was all looking great for so long. And of course, for a while after that, I was on hold for the show, so I could be available for season 2. So for pretty much a year after that, I was waiting to see if there would be a second season, and then found out right at the end of that year of waiting that it's not going ahead. And then, so while the year was happening, I wasn't really thinking about, oh, nothing's happening, what's going on? I was thinking, this is great. I'm waiting to do that all over again. I can't wait. I'm so excited. So it was more at the end of that year when I realized, oh, I'm not doing it again. And I've just spent a year not doing any jobs. What does that mean? Is that good? Is that bad? I think what you learn is that it's neither of those things. It's just about what you do with the time, as long as you're getting something out of it, whether you're working or not,
Right.
Whether you're in a show or doing something that you can class as work, as long as you're doing something for yourself that keeps you creatively inspired. I think it's still time that's worthwhile, you know? It's still time that you can use to be learning things about yourself, which is the most important thing to do, I think, in this industry.
Oh, wow.
You have to understand yourself on such a good level to be able to even attempt to understand and portray other characters who come from different points and perspectives, you know? So I think any time is good time, whether you're working or not. Obviously,
Yes.
the more time you have working, the better. But I think you need a healthy mix of both to be able to actually bring a good quality to the work that you're doing.
Very well put. I mean, basically, that's the show. Thanks for coming on, Elliot.
And we're done for the series. Like, we're not recording anymore.
Now, for auditioning, I'm always curious to know with the working actors we have
I would
on.
love to talk about auditions. I find them very funny.
You're very funny.
Very
Why
funny.
is that?
Because it's such a bizarre situation. You meet someone that a lot of the time you've never met before, and then you sit down in a room and you do some of the craziest things you'll ever do in your life in front of strangers. They videotape it, and then they show other people in different rooms, and then you sit and wait to hear what they thought of it. Like, what are you doing?
That is
What are you
that is
doing?
the most unique and different perspective I've ever heard on auditioning.
Great.
But it's so crazy, depending on what you're doing, you know. Some of it can be really fun. Like I did a little guest spot on a show in England, well, Law and Order, but Law and Order UK. And I had one episode spot on that where I played a guy who had he had a son, and it was a really fun thing to play. And going into that, you're doing a scene where, like, you know, you found out that you have a son and he's been kidnapped and you want him back and they've come to take him and you don't want to give him up. That's really fun. Still strange, but really fun. You have other things, and I had auditions for drama school where I had to sing Happy Birthday as if I was a piece of clay and then run around the room.
Wait, what?
I know. Even stranger than that, I really like that kind of stuff. I find that strange because most people don't. Most people are like, that doesn't make any sense.
How do you sing Happy Birthday like a
I will not be showing it.
Damn it. This is an audition.
I will not
You know
be
that, right?
doing that. Yeah, so I find them really strange because you do the funniest, craziest things, and obviously people will take it very seriously because there can be a lot on the line for some people, which makes waiting rooms a very interesting place as well. I also find those hilarious.
Waiting rooms are really interesting places because for me, I really have to focus.
Yes.
I've gone past the stage, thankfully, of being intimidated, if you will, by the other actors, because there's no reason to be intimidated. And
No, but they're the funniest people who try and intimidate you. I've been to auditions where
Oh my
I'll be
God.
sat down
I know what you're talking about.
and they'll get up and they'll be like, "Oh, I just got to work out right now. I got to do some push-ups, man." Oh, in front of everyone. I'm like, you must sit down or leave because I will start laughing at you. You just don't. Do whatever you need to get yourself into the right frame of mind to do a good job, of course. I wish everyone luck and I hope everyone has the opportunity to do the best that they can do in the room. But don't try and get the best opportunity by putting other people down or trying to like psych them out. That if cheating were a thing in auditions, it kind of falls into that category for me. I'm like, just do what you need to do. And for me, I don't like to go in and like be chatting with everyone because I just want to stay focused on
Right.
why I'm there, you know? I'm not there to meet a bunch of people. That's a bonus if I can. But I'm there to do a job in the room like everyone else is.
Absolutely.
And there's always a slight awkwardness in the atmosphere of, you know, the competition, which I never really think about, but you can feel very competitive when you're in the waiting rooms and everyone's there and you're seeing people who look exactly like you and thinking, I wonder if they've got any of my jobs before that I didn't get. I'm going to check them out on IMDb. What's happening? Then you go into the room and you're like, oh, I haven't thought about anything I'm meant to be doing right now. I've been focusing on like who's
Absolutely.
taking my jobs.
You know, it's very funny to me in terms of initially you think of it as like you're competing with other people, but we've all had our different life experiences and our different perspectives on lives. And so when we go in there, we're offering something that no one else can offer. They're offering something that no one else can offer. So it's like you cannot compare those two things necessarily.
Not at all. And I think you realize as well, once you start doing a few things, that these are people you want to be working with, you know? In an ideal world, everyone will have the opportunity to be in really good shows and you get to work with them or good
Right.
movies or whatever. You wouldn't, as soon as you meet people and work with them, you see them for the people that they are and the qualities they bring. You have more of a positive spin on it rather than an audition room where it has more of a negative connotation on things, you know? So I think it's a nice thing to be able to remember everyone's trying to do the same thing. You're all in the same boat. So will people on to do well as yourself rather than the opposite.
See, but you have a very, it seems like, positive outlook, like you just said, and I met you out there, and it just radiates from you that you're a very positive and nice person.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? Now, this is going to sound like a absolutely silly
But
question.
what we really think.
Kind of an asshole. Elliot Knight. No, I'm kidding. No, but you said it came from something you try to remember when things get you down. Have you always been like this positive, or I mean?
I think I have it's just been my natural disposition since I was a kid. I've always felt very I'm not saying I haven't had difficult times. Everyone's human, you know, but I appreciate and recognize that I've always been very supported by my friends and family in whatever situations.
Right.
And that I am one of the top percentage of people who is very, very lucky to be in good health, be in a good place of the world, be surrounded by great people, and have wonderful opportunities. I mean, not to make this sound like a Disney movie, but you know, like
No, but it's
fitting,
it's a brilliant
right?
thing that I think people can forget so quickly. You know, there are so many other people who would love to be in your shoes and get to do what you do or have the experience that you've had, and they don't through no fault of their own, and a lot of them have it worse off. You know, and also that could be you at any point. You never know what's going to happen. So I always find it's really important to focus on the great things that are happening because there are so many, and you will enjoy your life so much more than if you're worrying about things all the
Do
time.
you feel that mentality has helped you get to where you are today?
Definitely. If I hadn't have been positive and relaxed in my first audition for Sinbad, I wouldn't have got the job. I think the reason that I got the job is because I was able to just appreciate that I was like, this is my first audition and this is the final 4th round now that I've been doing this. And I was happy just to have the audition because I joined my agent with it and they said, I'd love to put you up for this. And I read the breakdown. I was like, just the fact that you think I could do something like this makes me so happy. Whatever happens in the room, I will just be so glad to be there. And it's that energy that I carried through to my final one. I've got all the way through to the end. This is so much better than I thought it would be or further than I would get. So whatever is cool. And being able to be relaxed and just happy is the energy I think they liked in the end. And that's what ended up getting me the role and being able to do that. So yeah, definitely. And it's a good help, like you said, in between times when I can still get frustrated by things, of course. Like, it happens a lot, but I always just try to go back to that place where I remember, no, do you know what? Have your moment, do what you need to do, get it out your system, and then get back to, if you want to do things, just work hard for it if you're frustrated, you know?
It's a very contagious attitude. I like that, Elliot. Can you hang out, like, around me, like, whenever...
Sure,
you know?
why not? Just feed me treats, that's all I need.
Feed you treats.
Sweet treats.
Oh my gosh.
Sweet treats. Went to a dark place.
Do we have time for another question? I was going to ask something, but I don't know how much time.
Oh, yeah, we got time. A listener question, or we're going to do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was curious.
You're curious.
Damn it! You made me forget it.
No.
Well, on the top...
Oh, no,
go ahead.
I did. I remembered it.
Okay.
So you've worked a lot over in the UK, but what transitioned you to come to Los Angeles? Was it a job, or did you just want to make a...
We finished filming Sinbad in Malta, and then my agent said to me, do you know what? This has been a really big opportunity for you. If there was ever a moment to go out to the States and try and see what we could start happening there, let's do it. So I was like, great, let's do it. And she came out with me, and we met managers. I ended up getting a manager, and then from then, so that was the start of 2012. From then, I was just going on tape for things wherever I was in the world, like auditioning for like pilots or new series or things happening here. Just because there is so much work here. There's so much work to be had. Compared to the UK, there's a bunch there and such good quality as well, which is great. But I just think there's a general feeling, if you're not from America, the industry has such a huge center here that if you have an opportunity to be here, you would be a fool not to take it if it's really what you want to be doing, you know? Unless you are bound to England or wherever it is that you're from and you only want to stay there and do those things. I love exploring, and I've got to see so many amazing places with work, which is a huge perk. So I was very happy to be like, no, I don't mind a change of scenery and pace and exploring a different part of the world and different people and seeing how it works. Although first time I came to LA, I did not like it. Not one bit.
I don't blame you.
Story there?
I don't blame you, man. Can I ask you what you didn't like about it?
Yes. It first of all and mainly, it was just very different to what I was used to, which isn't a bad thing. But I came to this place and all I saw were billboards. There were more billboards than houses for a million different shows. And they're all like, watch this this time, and then an hour after, watch this, then when that's finished, go over here and watch this. For you, like, your entire week is planned just with all the shows that there are. I was like, this is insane. I feel like the industry has like vomited over the city, and it's just everywhere. That was my, because when you first come in, it's startling, you know, you're like, wow, this is really intense. But once you have some time and you meet people and you start to really explore the heart of the city, and there are so many good meaning people here who are trying to just get somewhere, and they're so passionate and so driven. I love that. I will appreciate and respect that about anyone in any place.
Right.
And that's how I feel more about LA now. It's just a very strange place to come for the first time, and when you're only used to normality.
No, absolutely. And I think especially with LA, like the whole billboard situation, I mean, that's just, I think it's like a big city thing, if I'm not mistaken, correct, Jordan?
Well, LA, no, I would say LA is just really heavy on like their cultural center. Like New York will have like Times Square that they'll post everything or billboards, but
and there's places in London as well, of course. It's not like I'd not seen billboards before, but for a variety of different
Oh, that's
things.
what I got
but
from
this
you.
is like you have to like this.
Where are you from? What farm are you from? No, yeah, like it was more, you know, advertisements for different things, for a book that's coming out or for a campaign or different things like that. Whereas here it was so heavily the industry, obviously, but not seeing that for the first time, not really realizing the scale of it. You're like, whoa, that's pretty overwhelming.
Because if the industry likes it, if the city of industry likes it, it's going to go viral. It's going to go everywhere because they're going to advertise it. So
What's advertising?
It's this one thing we don't do. No, just I don't believe in advertising for no. We have our billboard down by.
That's $25,000 a week.
I just charge it to your credit card. It's good.
That's fine. I didn't know I had that limit. Now, your relationship with reps.
Yes.
I think that's so crucial.
Yes.
And we get a lot of questions from actors about that.
Same.
Have you had to switch reps throughout your career, or have you had the same ones?
I haven't switched with anyone, no. I'm very I don't have the normal I haven't had the normal kind of representation that people expect when you start doing big things. They think you're with a huge, famous, massive agency. And it's never really been my style, because to me, it's always made much more sense to be with someone that I personally connect with and get on with. Someone who's on the same page as me and understands me, isn't afraid to tell me what they think about things, and also isn't afraid to listen to the things that I want to do and the things, more importantly, that I am not interested in doing, you know, or the certain paths that I don't want to go down.
Right.
And in my experience, I got that more with, it was easier to find that with someone who was smaller and more focused, rather than being with a huge, like, I don't know.
Yeah, bigger
just
agency.
a huge agency.
Yeah.
I'm with quite a big agency now, but it's after I've had the time to be able to sculpt out what it is that I want to do and how I'm going to achieve that, rather than just being a tiny fish that jumps into a huge pond.
That's a mistake.
And
everybody
getting,
makes.
you know, I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard so many stories of people back home coming straight out of drama school, being signed to like the biggest agency, and everyone's like, oh, they're going to do amazing things. And then 6 months later, they've not worked and they don't have an agent anymore, just because you're already kind of internally in competition with so many people. I think it's important to be able to figure out what you want to do and get your boost first before you start pitching yourself up against these massive, like, established actors already. So that's been my experience. It's been very much more of a manager relationship than an agent relationship. If someone represents me, I like to know them personally, and I want them to know me personally. Because I just find then your relationship working wise is so much healthier and so much better, and the communication is easier as well, which is so important when you're doing this. You know, you want people to know how you feel about what you're doing and what you're being
Absolutely.
sent. It saves everyone's time in the end as well.
That's a very well put. You're so well spoken. I think,
Thank you. I
think it's your UK background.
Oh,
I
probably.
think it's the accent. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's a magical veil. There's nothing more than that. People just hear the accent, they don't hear the words. They're like, he sounds smart. I like
It's
it.
true. I see past your
This
veil,
show's gonna
Elliot.
be great when we
You really
launch.
are. Elliot Knight, a fraud. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be answering listener questions and talking a little bit more,
We have a little game,
and a game,
And
a
singing.
little quiz.
and singing.
No singing. No, I
You
regret
already
it
said it.
immediately. No.
Lump of Clay, happy birthday coming up.
We'll be right back.
Casted Talent is pleased to support Actors Anonymous. Casted Talent, for more than a decade, we've been working to make sure that the right actor has the opportunity to compete for the right job and has the right online tools to pursue that job. The Casted Talent Online Showcase, Gig Finder, major open calls like Star Wars and Jungle Book, and feedback by Casted certified casting pros within 24 hours. CastedTalent.com, @CastedTalent, and Casted Talent on Instagram or Facebook. #right actor, right job.
Put a flavored condom on your head because your mind is about to get blown.
High school is over.
Blackout party at the beach, bitches! You're legit popular.
Ah, Maddie f***ing McKevin.
You have to tell her.
I still want to be with you. You still want to be with me?
Welcome to the Enchanted Fantasy Prom. Be sure to sign up for the raffle. You could win a rainbow.
Awkward. Season 5 premiering August 31st at 9/8 Central. Only on MTV.
And we are back in the studio. We have a full house right now. We brought in some extra people. We have the educational director from Stage 32 just sitting in, hanging out here. Shannon.
Just not gonna say her name.
That's what I was gonna say. I was doing the intro
Shannon.
first, man. And we also have Mindy Ferrano.
Salute. That means cheers.
You have to talk into my
Sorry,
mic.
salute.
Mindy, you never talk into the mics. We just realized
I
that.
know, I'm never given one.
I'm gonna lean in
Always
for
like-
you.
Like, pick your favorite one. And then okay, we're sharing.
You'll earn it someday.
Yeah, I gotta earn up the ranks.
Elliot, because of the show you're currently on, Once Upon a Time.
Sorry, that was such a quick transition. It took me a second.
It was,
Ready.
man. That's what we do here. There's been a lot of fan questions, and we have a whole bunch
Oh, brilliant. I bet
to go
they're
through, and
wonderful.
we want to thank everybody who's tweeted out at us.
Let's see which ones you can actually answer.
Yeah, because
right.
okay,
Probably
I love when people ask this because this happens on my show as well, especially during the earlier seasons when you finished shooting a season and they just started airing like season 2, let's say, and they're like, "What can we expect from season 3?" And it's like, I don't know. You should ask one of the writers. They probably
I know,
won't
right?
tell you.
Yeah, they won't tell me. So, jeez.
Right.
You should start being like, I died last season. You didn't catch
Oh, yeah,
that
just
one.
start, like,
go back and
making
watch
up
it.
shit.
Just go back and watch it.
I should.
It's subtle.
I should.
Alrighty, let's see. We have at Alaj. How is Camelot different from other realms? What makes it special?
Ooh, good question. I think Camelot is going to be the most magical place of any season of Once Upon a Time.
Wow.
It's so steeped in myth and legend. There are so many stories that it's connected to. And obviously in the Once Upon a Time universe, they can connect as many additional ones as they want to. So I feel like in Camelot, a lot of questions about the entire show, the whole premise of the show, are going to be raised and maybe answered in this part of the season in Camelot. So it's going to be an exciting one.
I have another one. At Nanny VL.
That's me.
It might be Nani. Nani. What is the biggest challenge playing such an iconic role like Merlin?
The challenge would be if I was trying to be what Merlin is normally, like
An Asian woman.
a small Asian woman, like a tall white man with a long white beard, and he's hundreds of years old. That would be a challenge, but it's actually, it's not so much there's a challenge with doing it, it's more because we're able to do what we want. I'm not trying to emulate anyone who's already, portrayed this character or anything. The challenging thing is trying to just catch up to speed with everyone who's already on the show, and they've been doing it for so many years. They're so embedded into what they do, and they understand their characters in and out, and then when you come in as a character who is so integral to what's happening and so powerful and wise and all of these things, it's like I have like 2 days to do all of those things. I don't even know how to do that as Elliot, let alone as Merlin.
Right.
So that's kind of a challenge, but I don't think of anything that I've done so far as being difficult. It's just been very enjoyable to pretty much figure out for myself as I go along what he's going to turn out like in terms of the context of the show.
Is it hard to turn off like your mentality for how everyone? I mean, Merlin's such an iconic character that you see in so much media. Like, do you ever is it hard to just be like, don't be like this, or are there things that you emulate?
No, I don't, because again, I'm so far removed from the classical imaginings of him. Nothing else. I don't feel like, oh, what if I'm going to be like this? I'm like, well, I'm not. Like, it's going to be Elliot Knight's version. What if people like it or not? I hope they do. But yeah, no. So I don't worry about it. It's just I'm just so happy to be able to do something like that because it's really cool. It's really cool.
I have a question aside from the user questions. What was it like when someone told you were auditioning for Merlin?
Well, it didn't happen like in a normal way where there was a breakdown and I was like, oh great, that's amazing. Eddie and Adam, the creators of the show, wanted to meet with me to talk about a character that they were going to be introducing in the new season. I was like, okay, cool. And I hadn't seen the show at this point, but I went in and they said, we're doing this, we're going to go to Camelot next season and we want to introduce the character of Merlin. And as soon as I heard Merlin, I was like, whoa, that's great. But then I was like, but maybe they don't actually want to see me for that character. Maybe they're just talking about him for no reason. But they were like, no, he's gonna, I was like, wait till I dangle the carrot, But they were like, no, he's going to be really important. And we have seen your stuff. We've seen things like Sinbad. That's like a similar world of fantasy and magic and adventure. And we'd love you to come in and read for it. And so we can consider you. And I was so grateful, because I said to them, thank you guys so much, even for just wanting to meet with me and being willing to give me the time of day. Because normally for my casting, I would never expect people to be like, come and play Merlin, of all characters. So I was just so thankful, and I said to them, thank you for having such an open mind with this and being willing to go outside the box, which they do so well on the show. So I'm glad that they followed through with this character.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see if we have any more here.
No.
Can we, at Matthew Paul, at the Matthew Paul, sorry.
Wow.
very different. Can we expect an explanation as to why Merlin appears so youthful despite being so ancient?
Yes.
Great answer.
It's shrouded in mystery. Proactive, right? That's the.
What has
How weird would that be? Like
a good moisturizing routine for many, many years.
Our last one is at. Would you say Shadowin?
Yeah. Definitely.
Shadowin?
Shadowin.
Shadowin.
Sure. Yeah.
What has been your favorite thing about being on once, and what is your favorite episode?
Ooh, my favorite episode is the episode with Ruby, and they do her origin story and show how she became Little Red Riding Hood. Because that episode, I thought I knew what was going to happen, and I thought I was really clever because I had sussed it out. I was like, oh, they think they've got me, but they don't. And then I watched it, and they have me. I've had no idea that they did what they did, and I liked what they did so much more. It just made it so much more interesting, you know? And so from that episode on, when I binge watched the entire series before auditioning, I was like, that's really cool. And then I just powered through, and I was like, I want to see what else happens with everyone. And I've forgotten the other part of the question because I'm a pro.
Favorite part of being on the show?
There we go. Doing magic. It sounds obvious, but you guys know the movie Matilda?
yeah.
Okay, one of the best movies in the world.
Yes, we know it.
Oh my god,
It's a classic.
I love that movie. It was my favorite movie as a kid, and it was the magic that that she gets to do, and moving things with her eyes, and just the whole world of it. I loved as a kid. Like, it got me so excited, and so from then on, it's always been a part of my desires for work. If I get to work in any magical realm or anything like that, I'm excited. Let alone being the most magical man of all. Like, that's really cool. So I can't wait to see it when, like, I know bits and pieces obviously of what I've done. I can't wait to see when they've done all the effects and they put everything on, because then I feel like, oh, I'm back to my Matilda days. It's nice.
Awesome.
I love the character or the concept of the Dark One. And I just like dark characters in general, but that essence of like this purely evil entity and how it just assumes different forms.
Yep.
I mean, that's got to be fun for whoever is playing.
So fun.
And without giving too much away, whoever is playing the Dark One
at whatever time. Yes.
Yeah, currently. That's got to be so much fun.
I mean, amazing, especially to be able to be given that contrast to work with, because especially when you're doing any show for such a long amount of time, I'm sure there can be moments that feel repetitive, or you'd like to sort of be able to branch out and do something else, but when you're doing the same character normally, you don't have that opportunity so much.
Right.
So I think it's a great thing in the show where different characters are given the opportunity to show different aspects of themselves or bring something new to their role. And yeah, whatever is happening with the Dark One this season it's going to be the best season for all of those things. It's going to be the best season, full stop, I think. And not just because it's the one that I'm in.
The actor who plays Rumpelstiltskin, excuse me, whenever he's in, I guess, say the Dark One form, if you will. Oh my gosh.
I know. It's crazy. It's so amazing just to watch it.
It's perfect for that story.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It is. And also I think it's nice with that character as well, because that's not like it's not like a Disney movie character. It's a classic fairy tale, but I love how they incorporated Rumpelstiltskin so heavily into it and what they did with him. Does anyone know the actual story of Rumpelstiltskin apart from he was a grumpy old man?
There's a girl who needed to turn all this straw into gold, and he came back and like promised. Didn't he like make her promise all this crazy stuff to do it?
I don't remember exactly,
and then
but
screwed her over.
There you go. But I really like that they incorporated that into like Snow White and Prince Charming, and all the
the interweave
exactly like fairy tale and the sort of Disney enhanced fairy tales, and they mix them all together. And he does so great at that. It's really
if you haven't seen Once Upon a Time, go on your Netflix account, which you should already have one by now. And
what is wrong with you?
Really, if you don't have a Netflix account at this point, like, get off this planet. No, I'm kidding. That's pretty harsh.
Wow.
I meant to the moon, not like something more
somewhere else inhabitable where you can still enjoy life.
Yeah, like Mars. Big shout out to Mars.
Right, and
NASA.
the water over there.
Water. For you. We don't have it in LA, but Mars does. I know that joke's been done like 10 times.
I still like it.
More than 10.
What was I even saying? Oh, go on Netflix and binge watch on Once Upon a Time. They have like 97 episodes, I think, up there right now.
Yeah, the
85?
100th episode is coming up in this season.
Okay, yeah, so they have like at least 85 on there right now.
Yeah.
I think it's game time.
It's game time.
Game time.
Wait, what's game time? I'm a bit nervous right now. What's going on?
I have a few questions for you pertaining to the show that you are on.
Great.
That I'm going to see if you can answer.
Oh, no.
Since you did tell us now that you have binge watched.
I have.
show,
That's true.
so-
That's true.
Let's see how much you've retained.
Everything.
I apologize to super fans of Once Upon a Time. These are not the hardest of questions.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe
great.
I shouldn't say that in case you... I'm sorry.
I mean, what? I'm ready.
What is Emma's superpower?
Emma's superpower?
She says in season 1. She tells it to Henry.
She's the savior. Correct.
That is correct.
But it's not the answer you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She tells...
Oh, I know.
She has an ability.
What?
I think it's better to say she has an ability.
Oh, well, I know what it is. She knows when anyone is lying.
Yes.
Yes!
Bing, bing, bing. We need sound effects.
We do.
Pew! No, that was the
Not those
worst.
sound effects. though.
Worst sound
It's
effect
a
ever.
different soundboard.
Wait,
Mindy, you're-
we have a soundboard on there, right? It's okay if we,
Nicole, your face
Nicole,
is
it's okay if we don't.
She's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, what? We're getting something. Currently,
Is it another message from Mars in
Is
reply?
it from the beyond? Did it come from Camelot?
is this Merlin?
Messaging Nicole.
It's the yeah.
Like,
It's the dark one. I hope it's not the dark one. Wait. That's your phone. Oh wait, there it is.
What was that?
Okay.
Let's hear the bell again. There we go.
Brilliant. So
yeah.
good. Thanks, Nicole.
We're moving up. We're moving up.
All right.
Who appears in the last 3 minutes of season 3?
Zelina.
What?
Zelina.
No. She's at the start of season 3.
The last
There's an
3
iconic-
minutes. You said these were easy questions. You
What's a
misled
hint?
me.
What's the
It's
relaxed?
a big reveal for season. It's like one of the.
Oh, Elsa.
Yes.
I did know that. Great. Song.
Who is Cora and who is Cora related to and how?
She is Regina's mother.
Bam! He is nailing
Don't
these.
worry about it.
Rumpelstiltskin. Oh, obviously Rumpelstiltskin is the dark one on the show. But what alter Disney or what alter fairy tale character does he also play?
Oh, whoa. Hang on. I know his story, but I don't know what character.
Say that again. What altered Disney character?
Rumpelstiltskin plays. Well, the Rumpelstiltskin is Rumpelstiltskin on the show, but he, in his storyline, he also is revealed as another character from another fairy tale.
Ah, of course. Like I know the answer.
It's tied into his romance.
What's happening? Am I running out of time? The Beast. He's
Yes,
the Beast.
the Beast.
Oh! Okay. Yes,
Last
I got it.
question.
Thank you.
Sheriff Graham in season 1
Yes.
was revealed to be what fairy tale character?
The Huntsman.
Damn, he is good.
Elliot, that was very
Merlin.
impressive.
It
Knowing
was
all.
mildly impressive, let's be real. Like, I could have done better. But I got them all right in the end, right?
That's pretty good.
Exactly.
I'm happy.
Elliot,
You've done your research.
you're a solid guy, man. This has been such a pleasure having you on the show.
Are we done?
No, we can keep going. I mean,
Do you
sure.
have questions for
So-
us or yourself?
The next 30 minutes is just Elliot asking himself questions.
Hello and welcome to Elliot Time. No, it's been so much fun. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, man.
Really
We look
enjoyed it.
forward to seeing you more on Once Upon a Time as well and all your future projects.
And it's on Sundays?
Sundays
ABC?
at 8:75. I don't know the times in America. It doesn't make any sense, but
Also, next year sometime, you have a film coming out, correct?
yes, I do. Thank you. I remembered. I did a movie last year called Takedown with Ed Westwick and Phoebe Tonkin and Jeremy Sumpter and Dominic Sherwood and Max Deacon and all my friends. And that is coming out sometime next year. That's going to be a cool one to watch out for. That's very gritty. It will be an exciting one.
Oh, awesome. That's wonderful.
Is it magic or
No. no,
Jordan's like, I'm not watching it. It's not magic.
Well,
Before you go, if there's one piece of advice you can give to the struggling actor, what would you say?
I would say never forget your own value, because I think it's very easy to do in this industry. You can be made to compare yourself to different things, different people, and feel inadequate. Never feel inadequate, because you always have something to bring that somebody else doesn't, and so you always have value, and keep that with you for as long as you can.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Elliot, if you're on the interweb and people want to reach out to you, what's your Twitter?
I am It's Elliot Knight. It's Elliot Knight, not It's Elliot Knight. It's Elliot Knight.
ITS Elliot
Knight. Thank you. On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Great. Wonderful. I want to do a big shout out to Jordan and Mindy and Nicole and Shannon for, making it a full house today.
For being in the room.
Today.
Keeping the acoustics good. We got more room.
Talking to the mic.
Oh my God, Mindy. What are you
The
doing?
more people, the better the sound, less of an echo. I don't know. Just trying to contribute any way I can.
Oh, Mindy.
The reverb of my voice off of your body is great.
I was also staring at your eyes the whole time, and I was just hoping the camera wasn't on me. Okay.
Should we make out now?
We're gonna wait till it's done.
While Mindy and Jordan make out, you can find Jordan at Jordan Burbank 7. And Mindy, what's your Twitter handle?
At Mindy Furano. That's MindyFurano. Thank you for the direction, Nicole, because I wasn't going to speak into the mic.
Oh, Weesam would have flipped out. I just referred to myself third person. That was really weird.
Whoa,
Was that my thoughts coming out of your mouth?
I think so. That was really weird. Shannon, thanks for stopping by and hanging out.
She can't be heard because she's not on a mic.
But just a shout out to Stage 32. You should definitely check out Stage 32 if you're in the industry. It's the Facebook meets LinkedIn of the industry.
Oh, that sounds great.
One of the best things I like about it, and I've said it before, you can actually have discussions like in the lounge area that they have without people descending into like politics or religion or being assholes, which is incredible for any type of internet platform.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Nikki for doing an excellent and superb job on the soundboard today, and for awesome social media stuff. Nikki, we can find you at Nikki592, correct? She's nodding her head in agreement, and we're glad that your finger is getting better, Nikki.
Yeah.
We had a terrible accident last week. No, the week before last.
We need a PR rep now.
It sounded like
I had to get X-rays, guys.
She did. It got real.
I
She
know.
jammed her finger in the tripod.
No.
Yeah.
I once got my thumb shut in the hinge of a car door. Someone slammed it and it just went crunch. Yeah. Sorry.
Break it?
All about me. It's all
we're just one-upping Nicole. That's nothing, Nicole.
I had major surgery 3 years ago.
Oh,
I like it here.
Nose job doesn't count, Jordan.
Damn it.
oh.
You said you would never tell anybody.
Wow, what a great day.
You want to finish up here?
Yeah. we're on a time constraint, I guess. Our show today is brought to you by Cast It Talent. Cast It is the exclusive partner to Cast It's network of more than 10,000 of Hollywood's top casting directors, producers, directors, and studio execs. Hashtag right actor, right job. Check out their website. Check out their platform. They're absolutely absurd. I'm getting the thumbs up from Jordan because I said it right. And they've got great articles. We just talked about this recently. They have a great article on the do's and don'ts of social media for actors, because I think that's good.
Maybe I should read that.
Man, you're such a solid guy. You really are such a positive guy, and I hope you stay that way.
That's what I was fishing for. Thank you.
I know. That's the whole reason to do these things. Guys, thank you to our listeners for always tweeting in at us, if that's even the correct grammar. I'm an immigrant. It's okay. You can find us actorsanonymouspodcast.com. You can check us out on Twitter, Podcast AA. You can find me at WeSamKish. Always tune in to listen, and always remember to listen, think, and then talk.